What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and I hope everyone is doing fine. Finally, now that we are starting to be out of the pandemic period, let's get back to posting videos, informative videos about life, plants, and particularly farming. Before that, I'd like to apologize to everyone, to my subscribers, that I was not able to post a lot of videos for almost a year because the farm that I was handling, the farmhouse in particular, broke down. So I didn't have sufficient funds to, or we didn't have sufficient funds to put it back together again. So I left it. We still have Calamondin plants there, but the other crops were wiped out. So anyway, the good news is that we're back. We're back to giving you informative videos and the things that would interest, hopefully would interest everyone. So quite recently, I got a new subscriber under the name Mr. Cesar Ogsos. Shout out to you, sir. I believe si Mr. Ogsos nagpa-farm din. I think he's mostly taking care of fighting cocks. Sir, I got an inquiry from him on the difference between a grafted and an air-layered Calamondin. So let's start with discussing what is a Calamondin plant. No, a citrus microcarpa is a citrus fruit, tree native to the Philippines and other Southeast Asian countries. This normally grows in a tropical country. It's commonly grown as an ornamental plant, and it's small, and it's often used for cooking and making marmalade. Or yeah, I don't know if I read it right. So Calamondin plants are popular among gardeners because they are easy to care for and can be grown in containers or in small trees, or as a small tree. They prefer well-draining soil. Of course, mauhaw itong plant na ito. It requires frequent watering. If you don't have access to water, I don't think this will be ideal for your farm. So that's the number one requirement pag mag-farm tayo, water. And partial to full sunlight. Take note that this type of plant requires 6 to 8 hours a day of direct sunlight. Just quite recently, one of my potted Calamondin, actually air-layered to, or Marcotted, produced a lot of flowers, primarily because it was hit by direct sunlight. Okay. A lot of farmers prefer to have Calamondin as their crop because this will bear fruit for the entire year. Hindi ito seasonal. So again, you can find a lot of vloggers in YouTube farming Calamondin. So you can also get inputs from them. Okay. There are a lot of topics when we start talking about Calamondin, but let's just focus on the inquiry of Mr. Ogsos. Ano po ba ang difference ng air-layered and grafted Calamondin? I'll, as much as possible, make this within 15 minutes so that hindi naman kayo ma-bored and patuloy pa rin kayong mag-subscribe and continue to learn with me a few things about Calamondin. Okay, so air-layered Calamondin plants. Air-layered is a propagation technique in which a stem is induced to form roots while still attached to the parent plant. So the resulting plant is genetically identical to the parent plant. So based on my research, normally the age of the parent plant and the air-layered plant that will most likely be associated with, the lifespan will not determine between an air-layered and a grafted planting material. So By the average, it will last 10 to 15 years. The good thing between these two is that it will produce immediately fruits for you, provided that the mother plant is already bearing fruits. Isa po sa mga questions ni Mr. Ogsos is, from seed, how long will it take for a Calamondin plant to bear fruit? 5 years, sir, based on information, books, and studies. 5 years na siya by the average. But I normally tell the people that that will depend on your care for the Calamondin plant, provided it has sufficient sunlight, frequent fertilization. In short, growing conditions are very good. So it will bear fruit within 5 years. I already mentioned that the air layered and the marketed plant will produce immediately fruits, no? Now, let's talk about the grafted Calamondin plants. Grafting is a propagation technique in which a portion of one plant, the young scion, bata, from seed po, you have to grow it probably a foot long, and then you cut the top, and then you connect the two plants together. So the upper portion will be the older scion. The good thing is, mas lumalaban siya because the ones that has the root system is younger, and the ones that are on the top is an older, which can bear fruit immediately. So based on my research, wala namang significant difference if you have both the planting materials. But mostly out in the market, based on my farming time 2 years ago, kadalasan ng mga available planting materials are air layered po. Okay? So, anyway, the resulting plant is a combination of the two plants together, the young scion and the old scion, determining the fruit variety of the rootstock, the growth characteristics of the plant. So, grafted Calamondin plants are created by taking a cutting from the desired fruit variety. Again, take note, pumili po kayo ng good variety of Calamondin. Okay? It is best when you buy your planting materials, you have to check the fruits that they bear, no? If they bear the big ones or the native. So, normally, before, when I purchased planting materials, tinitingnan ko talaga ang bunga, if it's the big ones. So, Australian variety yung binibili ko dati. So, marami pong variety ang Calamondin. So, it's best that you ask your suppliers what type of variety does he produce or he manufactures. No. He grafts. Okay? So, again, air layered, grafted. Normally, mas mahal ang grafted kaysa air layered because mas madali ang air layering kaysa sa grafting, mabusisi. A lot of process to be done kasi magtatanim ka ng young scion. The air layered, you just have to remove the cambium, the bark, the cambium, and expose it. And then you put soil on top of it. And normally they cover a foil. And then within 30 days, it's going to be available for harvest. Pinuputol na nila. In Cebu in particular, it's from the planting source that I have, it cost 50 pesos. Fresh cuts. May roots na po siya. But take note, this is very sensitive. You have to be very careful because paglagay niyan ng polybags, when you transport it and magagalaw yung roots doon, ma-separate sa soil, based on my experience, mamamatay talaga siya. So, when you buy planting materials and you expect to plant 500 plants, you might as well have a buffer of, say, if you can afford it, 20% extra. Para naman, pag may mamamatay, na-hit mo pa rin yung target na number of plants that you want to have in your area. Okay. Again, it requires 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, frequent watering, especially during the summer season. During the rainy naman, I don't think that's required. You just have to make sure that the soil is well draining, kasi hindi naman all the time naka-flat. If it's flat, it's dangerous because there's a portion there where water will stay. So some of the plants will be damaged, magkaroon ng fungus sa roots, so it's eventually going to die. So you have to make sure that you have to check the soil if it's well draining. So I hope, Mr. Cesar, I was able to answer your inquiry. If you have a few more questions, put it in the comment section. For the new ones who just visited this channel, if you want me to talk about Calamondin, if you have inquiries, I can post topics. No? Thank you so much for continuously watching my videos. I hope you support me. Share the information that or the contents that I am making, and hope to see you back in the next video upload. Have a good day, everyone, and be happy.